Greetings from India. Good day, everybody. I wish to thank Professor Krishna for this arrangement as to let everybody know that what has happened in last ICD conference as a mechanism. The work presented here actually corresponds to paper number 9 involving beginning ethics. I am the presenter, Dr. Shukla, from School of Engineering, University. To let you know what will be happening here, I will try to present the work in around 15 slides, not exceeding 15 to 20 minutes there, followed by some interaction which can come online and it's coming back. To begin with, as a disclaimer, I can say here that the graphics which are used in this presentation are not mine and actually are used to illustrate the facts without any commercial interest. And this has been used to see that livelihood of classroom teaching is maintained. You, in a nutshell, the abstract in terms of what this involves here. So this work actually outlines involving engineering ethics, understanding, experience through a classroom engagement with their first year students. It uses reflection of ethics and moral from practice and anecdotes. Method used is simple, engaging classroom students as well as their faculty and external faculty also through campus, while internal faculty engagement was through TCS learning, LMS which we are using here. The work involves simple in terms of students as to create do's and don'ts, and as a common consciousness is involved among the classroom. It also conducts a case study based on local industry practice, and the motivation behind this is in terms of valid attributes that we wish all our students to be part of this. To give you that what work involves and why we have taken up this, I will briefly give an introduction in terms of what involves here and why. RK University is a Gujarat state self-financed private university which has set up one of its mission statement for the engineering students to provide ambience for effective communication and ethical practice in increasingly competitive worlds. Besides this, one of the engineering graduate attribute also requires engineering students to practice ethics in ever-increasing domain of science and technology. To cope up with this, without having any specific course on ethics, that's a challenge. The research question is how to build the understanding of ethics and method. Looking at this need, it is considered here to excite student mind with an ethical question and look forward to the practice which can be conducted in classroom teaching. As the majority of engineering students at transport comes from the rural background and lower level of spoken English language capacity, it's a major challenge to teaching and learning, and more so for a difficult topic like ethics. So this study looks into various learning theories as a tool to evolve engineering ethics so that it can be easily understood by students by faculty through teaching. The tool so used to work on periphery of behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, experiential learning, humanism, and finally the pragmatism as a reflection exercise, while which is not considered here are pedagogic, andragogic, sensory, and any other extension of it. Already a lot of work has been reported here, and which has been put as a literature survey aspects there. So the author has built connection with that. Primarily using the Skinner 1974, the theory about the behaviorism, Cobb's 84 experiential learning, making student experience that what are the questions raised to them and the response they would like to have. But 78, mind and society, relationship that what we have been doing, or the society has been taking up. Roger, 1983, freedom to learn, for the 80s, connecting the present with the future. Colon, Janet Worth, 2011, broadening ethics teaching in engineering. Beyond the individualistic approach to this involves both individual as well as with their Messiah and Sarah engineering ethics. Sorry for now we'll begin with what happened in a classroom and happened with raising a question as what is ethics, asking a student to take a minute and write down a piece of paper individually as to say that what three things they would like to do as a student and three things they will not or they should not do as students. It's led to a lot of discussions, queries also with that what actually ethics is. So it was told that ethics is something like as a philosophy of what is right and wrong, done, we know, but not very much sure as how many of us will talk. Or in the end, we can say actually whatever we do, let's say practice in terms of ethics, actually should be good for business. So as to bring to our mission statement in terms of building a good ambience for ethical communication. So this was more in terms of getting a behaviorism in there. The method of classroom engagement is followed for the first year students to introduce the topic in the exploratory board. Initially, without writing anything to them, they were asked to think of ethics and write what it means to them. This was done to have no preoccupation, but students had difficulty in understanding the word ethics and moral. So the explanation of the same was given to them. To help them do the task, it was made simple as to say three things, and that's it. Most of the students were able to do the job, but mixed up with the ambition they have and the professional life or attitude, they will not like to have. Ethics is a philosophy of what is right and wrong. A term we know, but not sure how many of us will follow. In general, a good ethics should be good business, and most of them agreed, and the poll wasn't conducted by asking them to raise a hand. Sometimes ethics is also calibrated in focus, and people continue to do good without expecting any immediate benefits like that. So this was students were asked in terms of cognitions there. We are given a task to reflect on 6 ethics of life as well. As to say that before you pray, learn to believe. Before you speak, learn to listen. Before you spend, learn to earn. Before writing, learn to think. Before quitting, learn to give the best friend. And most important, before dying, learn to live. The students were asked to reflect on this and share any story to contribute the statement made. But a good story was narrated by the students, sometimes reflecting on the movies as well, or scene of movies as well, which strengthened the cognitive strength of their childhood. As a part of constructivism, they built the individual castle as to play, and the answers were something like that respect teachers or parents and as well as students. Be good person, be good engineer, speak good, give best time, work hard, study, give time to study, be punctual, be regular, not to bunk classes. Provide light to religious philanthropic approach to this issue, not to chew tobacco or ambition like me, open up my web development company, be a best cricketer, make computer work into the local language. It shows the resolve of the student with an apathy of the things bothering their mind. Before conducting these exercises, students were given a chance to opt out of answering the question if they wish, but most of them willingly participated. Nearly 48 students out of 60 in the class volunteered for the participation, and others were witnessing what is happening in the class. Even they were not forced to respond. And all the responses collected were anonymous. The next tool which was used was an experiential learning. As a part of an experiential learning, students were now grouped in a random order of the 4 students, and they are asked to share the experience and come out with a common resolution among their group. This led to a lot of challenging among the groups, and finally it was asked to evolve the resolution of the class. The consolidated ethics resolution involved guide like deep in time, help others, speak the truth, and not to do red light, no riding, no smoking or tobacco, do not be casual. This shows that students are quite mature and can resolve difficult topics to work on. This is followed in a class with a story time here, which comes as a tool in terms of humanism. And here is the intervention of not only students, but faculty also was being taken. But faculty intervention was outside the classroom using lens, learning management system, in-house ECS, as well as out-house campus was used. So, as a part of humanism learning, now students were asked to draw the issues of teacher and faculty were also asked to reflect on the case study. The case study is like Rajkot is known for craftsmanship. One famous company decided what it says, it will put a hallmark on all the jewelry it produces, but will not be purchased. It will put hallmark on all the jewelry it produces, but will not be purchased. Now the question raised was that how one can see this and give reflection. Is it ethically correct and morally correct, or in 2-dimensional plane, ethical and moral, being correct and incorrect, how one can make it? So, a lot of interaction took place. For the student, it started with very basics in terms of that what happens, and mostly end up with respect to the measurements, as to say the carrot and the conversion, and then there the poverty as well as the ability there, and how actually it was implemented. While in case of faculty, it was more on philosophical skills there, and lot of interaction takes place. Some of the comments was that ethics is what and how we do things in day-to-day working. Ethics means archery, while moral is community understanding that what is correct or incorrect. If hallmark is correct, it has its own value, and in the market, it could always be sold who are in that business and know the value. They have taken a moral and ethical stand to put hallmark for selling, putting trust value in customer and letting the driving force of market to decide. So there is nothing immoral or unethical on the part of the manufacturing. So lot of arguments have been made there, and it is collaborated with education as well there. For we being education do not say that we will employ all of our students, but they ultimately get employed. It doesn't mean that few of them we also actually be employed in the education. So this shows that there is a considerable gap in understanding ethics and its application in business. So it should be jointly involved. As participation was few, no complete conclusion could be drawn. Around 5 interactions took place among 4 faculty members in a group of 90 using TCS LX learning management systems. And these charts were used to make them think that what kinds of actions the subject usually follow. While the Indian community of faculty through Gurukul campus learning management system, around 5 interactions took place, which were these 2 members in the group. The total 117 members were there, but 50 pending acceptance. That means there's little less interaction. So basically, ethics and law is something like that, and one has to look into that. The final tool which was used here is pragmatism here. Now finally one looks putting the lens of pragmatism. One of the comments were that we like to know why it is necessary to do it. I think it's been answered that leads to business for all. Interesting. It assumes that the right things to do and therefore don't get it as so much changes in the values. Maybe new things will not come up, so it is not taken as a creativity idea. So this was been said that moments of ingenious is to build and it is there. And if anything wrong is happening, it may be a fault, may be a design. What is expected here that at least a disclaimer is necessary to be done. But when the same is looked upon, perspective, in terms of unethical conduct reported in the last 3 years, data is as is for academic year 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16. The total number of papers written by students is around 25,000, 54,000, 47,000 there. The unethical conduct reported in terms of numbers university has taken upon a systematic process of awarding a penalty, but it seems that situation is stagnating at a point of less than 1%. So an effort is made to synthesize the students with unethical issues as well as to make a pragmatic decision in terms of absorbing the situation. Accordingly, a set of questionnaire is made, which is intermixed with the continuous internal examination to reinforce the behavior and create empathy toward it. The set of questions made here, at least one out of this list is put to the students on ethics and prosperity per group, which is direct. So I'll quickly go through this there, which are nearly 25 here. As part of ethics, one thing that we do, we have word here, which must stress is not remembering that as part of ethics, one thing I will not do, like any unethical practice you have noticed, what advice you have person next to you to improve personality, what is the dress code of an engineer, a friend of you is planning for cheating in an exam, what do you do? Do you have anything to report, any past incident or unethical practice in exam during your schools and college? What is better to fail or to cheat in exam? What should be the punishment of caught in cheating during exam and test? What is the university punishment of being caught practicing cheating in exam or test? Is the person next to you is dressed as an engineer and are you? Name a student from your batch who is chewing tobacco or smoking. Is there any person near campus selling tobacco or cigarette? What is the offense as per law for tobacco and cigarette for an educational institution? If you are doing going to be absent, what you will do it like that. So the answer to the questions really is not report here, as more than one correct answers can be there. But this helps the students to identify that what is the cost here. So in the end, to the discussions and conclusion, I can say the activity builds on reflection on six ethics of life, with generating a lot of interaction in terms of storytelling, making students think as what has happened in that case and what will happen if the same thing is done again. This cognitive exercise will cognitively reinforce the student thought process as well as put them in situation as answering a short question for a difficult topic like ethics. This was more used as a reflection exercise for a mature learner as well, like for faculty interaction, but failed to track the critical learner as the interactions was very selective. This work is a part of university-based program and not a part of a regular pedagogy. So it is difficult to interrogate or calculate the skill imparted, but must be addressed in business manner so as an attempt is taken to enter a level of the young mind without any degree of preparation. The emotional part of this was more evident in peer discussions. The issues were mixed up between ethical and law. So it is concluded here that the methods that forth questioning the young mind can be used to involve engineering ethics in general. And then, as an acknowledgement, I hereby acknowledge the support of art, in terms of building perspective, one common person on land and one common person on the moon. Thank you very much.